Now, continuing this whitewash, literally whitewash, of the traitorous filth that was present in this country for 4 years. Here's another example, and this is one that I find particularly disgusting. Earlier this week, about 20, I think it was more than that, House Republicans, Christian fascists, voted no where it concerns awarding the Congressional Gold Medal to those police who defended the Capitol. And some of these scum who said no, like the Q-bitch, Green, said they opposed the use of the word insurrection in the legislation to describe what happened that day. What would you call it, Q-bitch? Huh? Walk in the park, right? Something you celebrate. So that attempt to revise immediate history, Jesus Christ, 6 months ago, that was undercut once again yesterday when the Justice Department charged one of these scum who showed up to try to bring down the United States with bringing a handgun onto Capitol grounds. So this Orwellian attempt, and I know that's an overworked or overused phrase, but what else would you call it? But this Orwellian attempt to make us forget what really happened. Is that working on you, Truth Seeker? No, I don't think so. Or at least to give the morons who make up the Orange Vomit's base the ability to see a more comfortable reality, right? Jesus Christ. Anyway, this is not just an attempt to cover embarrassment or to protect the reputation of the Orange Vomit. There are electoral considerations in this attempt to rewrite immediate history. Several Republican senators have openly admitted that they're opposed to a bipartisan independent commission to investigate the attack on this country engineered by the Orange Vomit, because it would distract from an attempt to make the midterm elections a referendum on Biden's presidency. Are you kidding me? You filthy bastards. Boy, I swear to God, I hate these people with an intensity that surprises me. So that decision by these Christian fascist scum in the Senate doesn't just deprive this country of the cathartic feeling after national trauma of having the whole thing investigated and the recommendations that might come out of the commission to prevent it from happening again. No, it also meant that there will be no agreed to contemporary historic record of a day of absolute contempt, disgust, infamy, a day that peels back the bullshit cover on these Christian bastards and shows them for the Christian fascists that they really are. You know, it was a day when 5 people died. Democracy was shit upon by these Christian bastards, these Christian fascists. Jesus. Andrew McCabe, yesterday on CNN, former FBI director, deputy director, he said, quote, "The truth of what happened that day is an inconvenience for Republicans, and it's an embarrassment. It contradicts the political narrative they believe is most favorable to them." Well, with all due respect, Andrew, I disagree with you. It's not an inconvenience. It's not an embarrassment. These filthy pigs are proud of what they did. But McCabe added, quote, "They're going to continue lying. They're going to continue coming up with ridiculous characterizations of what happened on that day," end quote. But that's what Christian fascists do. See, once again, I'm so disappointed that people in positions of power, people who know better, people who know the truth, people who know what's going on here, refuse to let the American public in general understand who these creepy fuckers really are. These are Christian fascists. They're not Jews. They're not Muslims or Buddhists. They're not Hindus. These are homegrown, filthy, degenerate Christian fascists. So when will that term begin to be used? So that people can understand that this is an amalgam of filthy, rotten perversion of religion and perversion of politics to a degree, I don't know, maybe in the Dark Ages, the same thing was used by the church and the state to fuck over people. I'm sure that was the case. But this is the 21st century, LOL. Oh, and then the other deep, bloody stain on the orange bastard is the results of the pandemic that he denied was occurring, mismanaged, politicized, and in trying to make the country forget how that rotten fucker caused 600,000 people in this country so far to die, the Christian fascists now have settled on Fauci, right? That's their scapegoat. They're trying to put blame on Fauci that is all Trump's. It's unfucking real how this works. And the little scum bastards on the Fox Sewer and Onan News are doing the same thing. They're leading this effort. Jesus. There was a recent release of Fauci's government emails. Why? I don't know. Maybe what? Because it's a matter of public record? I don't know. But that triggered an effort by the scum and the slime that were in power during the Orange Vomits administration and the conservative media, pieces of human waste like Tucker Carlson, to blame Fauci for the pandemic's march across this country starting in 2020. They're blaming Fauci. Huh? Jesus Christ. And the nature of the attacks on Fauci is revealing, has nothing to do with Fauci. It's the attempt by these Christian fascist bastards to shift the responsibility away from the orange vomit. You know, one of the worst charges that is being labeled against Fauci, one of the most respected global public health officials ever, but they're trying to label him as, quote, an activist scientist. What? An activist? That's their newest term of derision, an activist scientist. You ignorant fucks, you. Oh my God! But the Christian fascists will pick up on that term. Oh, he's an activist scientist. Oh my God! Oh, and the other thing that these right-wing demons are trying to do, these Christian fascists, spawn of hell, they're trying to paint Fauci as an agent of Chinese propaganda. No, you dumb fucks. That's Mitch McConnell. Good God. Well, the rewriting of the violence and death and destruction that this fascist pig, Donald Trump, caused in his shitty little one-term administration, the attempt to rewrite that history is not surprising, because lies and bullshit and deception were the dominant characteristics of everything that Trump has ever done in his life, including the presidency. In fact, the Times reports, let me just quote this, the strategy, this bullshit strategy, which has now resulted in tens of millions of Americans living in an alternative version of Trump-approved truth. The strategy was sketched out as far back as 2018 in Kansas City, where the Orange Vomit told his followers not to pay any attention to journalists charting the true story of his presidency. Remember when the Orange Vomit said, quote, "What you're seeing and what you're reading is not what's happening," end quote. Jesus Christ. So, anyway, all of this, as I've said over and over on this podcast, is an ice-cold reminder of how a totalitarian government rewrote every book, changed every date, falsified every record in Orwell's novel 1984 to a degree that, as the book said, quote, "history has stopped," end quote. And nothing exists except a present in which the Christian fascists and their demon god, Trump, is always right. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.